This video was researched, written, and produced by me. Portions of the narration were generated using AI voice technology. No synthetic recreation, voice clone, or likeness of any real person discussed in this video was used at any point. Everything in this series is based on publicly available live stream content, documented and timestamped by the creator. Statements characterized as claims, accusations, or patterns reflect this creator's analysis and opinion of publicly available material, and viewers are encouraged to review the original source material themselves. This video is a work of commentary and criticism, protected under Fair Use 17 U.S.C. Section 107. Real investigations get more detailed over time. New evidence surfaces. Loose ends get tied up. Uncertainty resolves into fact, slowly, because that's how facts actually work. Watch a story get simpler over time instead. Watch it lose its contradictions instead of resolving them. And you're not watching an investigation anymore. You're watching something get rehearsed. This episode is about one story, told at least 4 times over 5 months. Same events, same people. A different, cleaner version every time. Part 1. February. Not sure yet. In February 2026, the story doesn't exist yet. Not really. What exists is a series of open questions. Early in the month, she describes the beginning of it herself. A process, not a conclusion. Things coming into my lap that she was piecing together, starting after being told that 2 people were close friends. 2 days later, on stream, when 2 names show up in her chat at the same time, someone asks the obvious question out loud. Are you the same person? Nobody answers it. It just sits there. 2 days after that, she offers her own theory. And it's worth hearing exactly what it is because it's not the theory she ends up with. She says she doesn't think the 2 are the same person. She thinks they might co-own something together. 2 separate people, jointly running one identity. That's February. A question asked and not answered. A theory involving 2 people sharing ownership of something. Real uncertainty, on the record, unresolved. Part 2. April. Settled. By late April, the uncertainty is gone. Not resolved, just gone. She states it now as simple fact. No hedging, no I think, no piecing together. It started, she says, when she came out against a specific person. Nowhere in this version is there room for the earlier question, are you the same person? Or the earlier theory, maybe you co-own this together. 2 months' worth of open questions have quietly disappeared, replaced by a flat statement of how it all began. Part 3. May, the private version. In May, something different happens. She reads her own private messages out loud, sent months earlier to someone else. In her own words from that private exchange, a description of someone as a weapon being used to keep people silent. This one matters for a different reason. It's not a live claim being made in the moment. It's presented as documentary evidence of her own state of mind at the time. But notice what it doesn't contain either. No trace of February's genuine uncertainty. By the time she's showing you her own private record of events, the story is already the settled version. Part 4. July. The full picture, finally. By July, it's a complete story. Consolidated, confident, told in one unbroken sequence. One person, she says now, is directly connected to another. A specific, named relationship, stated as simple fact. That second person's closest friend, she says, is a third person. And that third person, she says, is the one this whole series has been documenting. 3 names collapsed into a single clean chain, no ambiguity anywhere in it. Compare that to February. February had 2 people who might be the same person. February had a theory that 2 people might jointly own one identity. July has neither. July has one clean line, stated as though it was always this simple. It wasn't. It's on the record that it wasn't. Part 5. And then a specific claim. The July version doesn't stop at identity. It adds something new, a specific, falsifiable claim. The person at the end of that chain, she says, was involved in creating a fabricated image connected to a missing child case. Involved in creating, not forwarding, not receiving, creating. We went looking for the earliest available account of that image, not a retelling, not a summary, but source material from close to when it actually happened. What we found was a detailed, named breakdown. Who made the image, who enhanced it, who altered it, who claimed credit for the work. 5 people, named specifically, walked through step by step. The person named in July's version isn't among them. She does appear in that earlier account, not as a creator, but somewhere in the chain of people the image passed through afterward, under a name she was using before the one she uses today. That's not nothing, but it's not involved in creating either. And the gap between those 2 descriptions, a detailed multi-person account from close to the event versus a single sentence claim delivered a year and a half later, is exactly the kind of gap that should exist between something that was investigated and something that was rehearsed. Closing. 4 versions of one story. February, 2 open questions, unresolved. April, a flat statement with no memory of the questions. May, a private record that already assumes the settled version. July, 1 clean chain of 3 names plus a specific new claim that the earliest available source material doesn't support. That's not what it looks like when someone gets closer to the truth over time. That's what it looks like when a story gets told enough times that nobody's checking it against the last version anymore. Here's the part that should actually bother you. The proof was available the entire time. Not buried, not hidden. A year-old live stream, a detailed account, real names attached to real roles. Sitting there the whole time this story was getting cleaner and more confident with every retelling. Nobody had to dig for it. Somebody just had to check. Nobody checked. It was easier not to. That's the whole business model laid bare in one case study. Not we investigated and reached a conclusion. We repeated a claim until it felt true and hoped nobody would go look. Somebody went and looked. Next episode. What happens once the target's been named? The attack, the escalation, and the machine getting fed.